Hey, what's up, world? Something God shared with me this morning, right? I'm up here at work, as you can see. Stepped out for a minute to share this with y'all, right? We're in a time, right, to where y'all see what's going on around the world. You know what I mean? God's been trying to call on us. He's even the church. I'm talking really, this one here is really for the church. You know what I'm saying? That God's tired of all the lukewarm complacency, the comfortable, like people being comfortable where they're at. You know what I'm saying? With the prosperity gospel, you know, His mercy and His grace is beautiful, it's good. But you know, for us as the church, He's calling us to hold each other to a higher accountability, and that's where it's lacking right now. You know, and you know, we're supposed to be salt of the earth, right? The one thing about salt, though, salt ain't sweet, sugar is. You see where I'm getting at? Salt's only good when you season it on something. You know what I mean? Whether it's meat, whether it's eggs, whatever it is, some protein of some sort, right? This is what God showed me, man. Is salt plain? It's not a good taste. And even when you season it, you know what I mean? You can do not enough and you can do too much. So even when seasoning meat with salt, you got to do it. Now this is me speaking spiritually through it, right? Using that, you know, just using that as a metaphor for it. But when you're using salt, like, you don't want to do too much or too little. And it's like with this gospel, like, we're to hold each other accountable, to correct each other, and do it in the most loving spirit led by God. And oftentimes it ain't gonna be in our spirit's gonna get misconstrued. It's gonna get taken out of context. We can be operating in the spirit of love, yet being bold and standing on kingdom business, and someone still say we're fouling, that we're hypocritical, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't everyone gonna understand it. You know, but God's revealing to me that we as the church, you know, for those that's of the world, we're not really, we're supposed to bring them into the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And then through that, through them watching us and the love we have for each other, and when I say each other, for those who's been, you know, in the church of Christ, which is the bride, which they talk about in Revelations that He comes back for, the bride without spot, blemish, or wrinkle. In order to recruit that, right? Like for those are babies in the faith. So the more they're around us, who's been walking this thing out for some time, and the love they see we have for each other, even when we as the church disagree with one another, because we're at the end of the day, we're human. Me, myself, like I would get offended at times, right? Someone could be holding me accountable, one of my Christian brothers, and it can wear and tear on me, man, and I have to go to God with it at times, right? But that's what we need. If we're around a bunch of brothers and sisters who's letting us be comfortable, you know what I'm saying, and not challenging us, and not holding us to a higher accountability to prosper and to become stronger in the kingdom, then we really need to think about what we're doing and who we're around. With that said, man, I said all that to say this, man. Us as the church, let's wake up, man. We're salt, right? We're salt, not sugar. And what I mean by that is, yes, grace and mercy is good. But all this prosperity craziness, man, look at here. Something I noticed when I came to God, and the more I walk this thing out with God, I have some of the most toughest challenges, bro. Like in my mind, just things around me. The enemy tries to come at me through those closest to me, right? But even through that, in the mix of all that, of all the hurt, the pain, sometimes it feels like agony, the chaos, sometimes confusion, sometimes doubt. Even through all that, man, God still grants me the peace that surpasses all understanding, and it can only come from Him. And that's from, like, staying surrendered. Man, there's sometimes I just want to blow a head gasket, throw the towel in and say, man, I'm done, right? Using self as prime example, so letting y'all know I'm not perfect, right? Like I said, I oftentimes have thoughts that are not all the way pure. We all do. But now, however, whatever we do with them thoughts, we can either sit there and feed them thoughts, you know what I'm saying, and make fantasies off some of them, and then eventually it will become reality. So when we get thoughts that's not good, that's not pure, that's evil, whatever the case may be, and we're trying to go one way, we got to call on God to help us hold our thoughts captive. If not, it will become a part of us, especially if we get other influences around us that's feeding that, right? So we got to stay pressed in with God, man. I just felt this in my spirit this morning to say this, This is a warning to the church, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially for those that's been doing this thing for a minute. And for us that's using the music platform, God showed me this, man. We're reaching so many people through music. Some maybe more than others. That's cool. Hey, however it goes, right? But the thing is, God revealed me this, right, through this music thing. For me. But not just for me, for a lot of other ones that's doing Christian rap, right? Bro, it's time to call out the church, bro. The lukewarm, those in the church that's just, you know what I'm saying? The sin that needs to be called out in the church. Us as the Christian hip-hop community, man, whether we're on a huge platform, a small one, local, whatever the case may be, it's on us to call out the church, man, because there's something else God showed me, right? Is if we as the church allows all them weeds in the church and the sins and all that of those who say that they are of the bride, and we don't stand on business with it, well, then guess what? We're just as guilty as they are, right? Like I said, let's wake up to the world. Let's bring them in, man. Let's make disciples. Shout out to everyone who's poured into my life. Shout out to JBM, Jerome, Denise, Daniel, all them boys, Scott, all y'all. To my pastor, to my brothers who I'm tied in with right now, Fitzgerald, all the way up to Toby, David, Dominique, Justin, Steve, Josh. I mean, the list goes on and on, man. There's a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? For anyone who's wanting to get this thing, man, y'all got anything y'all want to talk about on your mind? I'm at work today. So if you call, I may not answer because I'm kind of busy. But if you want to inbox me, if you got something on your mind, you need prayer, hit me up. Love y'all. Let's stay blessed, not stressed. Let go of our worries. Let God do the rest, man. Through him is how we get the peace. Through him is how we keep the peace. Let's wake up, church. Love y'all.